everybody, I am Tiffany and today I am doing another book review. This one I'm super excited about because I have just been reading a bunch of classics lately and now I am back to a more modern book and I was so excited. And don't get me wrong, I love my classics but I also love my modern books. Now this book I know is going to make a little bit of you upset that I have not read it yet, but I have read it, so at least I have now. But this book is Maximum Ride, the first book, The Angel Experiment. And as you see, this girl has like a tank top and jeans on, and you can't really see, but I have a tank top on, not that exact color, and I do have jeans on. Ugh, you can't see the jeans. I don't have the blonde hair, and I don't plan on dyeing my hair blonde, but I also don't have wings, which was a really sad discovery, I must say. I would love to be able to fly, and not having wings is kind of a little devastating after you read this book. I was super duper excited to read this book. I wanted to read it for a very long time, and I know it's like, Tiffany, why have you not read it? Because it's been out for I don't know how long. The series is finished. As soon as I started reading this book, like 2 minutes in, I was like, Tiffany, why have I not read this yet? Come on now, get your head in the game. The reason is it's a bad reason. The situation of judging a book by its cover, because compared to other covers, this is not the best one. It's not as captivating. And let's face it, even though we say we don't judge a book by its cover, we kind of do. Because if you see this cover and you see this other series that's really popular and their cover is prettier, you're gonna go for the prettier cover because that one's more interesting. A while ago, I went to the store that was near me called Movie World, and it's like this bookstore. It's used books. It has a lot of books, but usually out in the front, they'll have these books that are on sale for like $1. I looked in that section, and they had a lot of kids' books and stuff that I didn't read, but I found this little gem, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's 99 cents. I'ma get in this book. So I have finally read it, and oh my gosh, it was so good. I didn't know what to expect. I do like James Patterson as an author. I haven't read a ton of his books, but I have read some of his books. I don't know, I felt like there was so much hype around Maximum Ride, that it was such a good series that I thought I was going to be disappointed, but I wasn't. It was action-packed, it was fast, I flew through it, it was so good, and no pun intended on the flew part, you know, wings, you get it. I was so happy with what this book produced, and I am totally finishing the rest of the series. And it was in one of my favorite styles of writing, which is where it has a lot of chapters in it, but it's super duper short. Each chapter is maybe 2 pages at most. You'll have ones that are a page, like this. That's a chapter. That's a chapter. And I love that type of writing style. Why? Because it makes you feel really good about yourself. You get through the book a whole lot faster and you just feel accomplished. Because I don't know about you, but when I have a book and I'm reading it and I finish a chapter, I get so excited and feel accomplished and do a little victory dance before I move on. Especially when it's a super long chapter and you accomplish it and you finish it and take it down, you're excited. Also, chapters just kind of give you a break a little bit. It's a nice break of everything that just happened. You can take a breather and get yourself somewhat together before you move on. The writing style is really simplistic. There are certain series out there where like if you stop after a book or two and you don't read it for a while, it's so hard to get back into that world because that world is so complicated and you have to learn all the rules. This one, it takes place in our day, but one thing that I do like about it is I feel like I can read this one and put Maximum Ride aside for a little bit just while I finish some other series I have to get through. Then I can come back to it and still remember everything big that happened in it. I still recommend though that you marathon because marathons are fun. I'm not marathoning this one, but after a little bit I'll probably marathon the rest of the books in order. For those of you who want statistics for it, Maximum Ride got a 4.09 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I gave it 5 stars because I loved it. I don't know you, so maybe you won't like it, but I loved it, so it deserved my 5-star rating personally. I've never seen a book with 5 stars. If there's one on Goodreads, let me know. I want to see what book this is. The synopsis of it is it basically follows a girl named Maximum Ride and her group of fellow colleagues who were experimented on as kids. And one of the results of those experiments was they have wings, and they ended up escaping this school, is what they call it, a while ago. They're living in seclusion and trying to hide out and not get captured again. One of them does end up getting captured, and it sets them out on this giant adventure. Maximum Ride is the main girl. Even with her on the cover, I did not realize it was a girl. I picked it up, I saw Max inside here. I was envisioning a guy. And then what happened was I came across another character and I was having trouble envisioning that character. And so I went on IMDb to see who in the world they cast for the movie, because I know there's a movie. I was looking through it and I saw that the main person who played Maximum Ride was a girl. And my brain was like, hold up. I was so confused that it was a girl playing Max, and I was like, what's happening? And so I researched and I was like, is Max a girl in Maximum Ride? And everybody was like, yes, it's a girl. And I was like, oh, wow. And then I looked on the cover again and laughed hysterically at myself that I would not even think that Max is a girl. It's not even short for Maxine though. I was like, oh, maybe it's short for Maxine. It's short for Maximum. Sometimes my brain does not think in the right realm of the situation. So I had to take a sec and rewarp my image of Max, because I wasn't going to sit there and pretend that Max was a guy when it's clearly a girl. And she's a girl who kicks butt, so that's even better. Just letting you know, it's a girl. Go in knowing it's a girl. And before you ask, no, I did not watch the movie. I know that I said that I would be usually watching movies that coincide with the book that I'm reading, but here's the thing. The Maximum Ride movie, I looked at it and it had a 3.9, and that's not very welcoming on IMDb. And also, it was straight to DVD, which I'm not knocking straight to DVD movies, but I don't see a lot of those nowadays. I wasn't gonna go out and buy it. There's 10 times better movies out there that I will spend my money on than Maximum Ride. So I made the executive decision to not watch the movie so that my beautiful image of this series is never tarnished. Let's face it, if you have a bad movie of a book, sometimes it can ruin it a little bit. Not really, because then the book's just too awesome that you go to the point of I don't care. I mean, look at Percy Jackson. I hear it's going to be a web series, or is it a web series already? If it is, please send me a link, because I'll watch the web series if it's good. I'm hoping maybe in the future they'll do the movie again, and maybe I could get on it. That'd be cool. That's really all I can tell you without completely and utterly spoiling you. Go read this series if you haven't. Don't be late like me and just neglect it for years and years and years. Go read it, because it's totally worth your time. I think it really will surprise you how good it is. You know, I didn't know what to expect, and I loved this book, and I was on the edge of my seat, and I literally flew through this in like a day or two. And I don't read books in a day, I read them in like a week, maybe. Thank you for joining me, non-spoilery people. This is your cue to leave. Have an awesome day. Let me know if you find a place where you can get wings. Not the way they did it in here, but you know, just a place where I can get wings so I can learn to fly, because that'd be awesome. Alright, goodbye, non-spoilery people, goodbye! Let's really hope they flew away. So this book, it started off very different than what I was expecting. It was really interesting because it kind of felt like at the beginning I was thrown into the middle of the story already in process. Automatically you're getting a little bit of backstory about this group of teenagers that were in this school, and you know that they were experimented on. You don't know the extent of the experiments or anything like that, and you learn that this guy named Jeb, who was a scientist there, helped them break out. And 2 years ago, Jeb disappeared. It automatically starts with everything that happened with that. It starts right after that. So it was really cool to me because I felt like that could have been a whole book on its own. It's not a giant puzzle book, but there are a lot of questions and you don't get the answer straight away to them. That's why I'm really excited to read the rest of the series, because there's still so much left unanswered from this book that I'm like, I need to figure out what's going on now. You learn about all the different characters pretty quickly. There's Iggy, who's blind. He's very good with like explosives and stuff like that. And yet the Gas Man, which is a hilarious nickname. I loved that kid so much. He was adorable. You have Nudge, who will not stop talking, and you have my next two favorite characters next to Maximum. One is Angel. Angel is complicated because she's a cute kid and she's the one who gets captured and they go to save her and everything, but she's kind of scaring me a little bit. Like, I'm a little afraid she's gonna go all evil on them, and I know that probably won't happen. I feel like one of them is gonna be betrayed. Like, I mean, they're already betrayed by Jeb, but I feel like they're going to be betrayed again, and that one of them in there is going to just turn on all the rest of them, and I'm really scared. And Angel is starting to be creepy with her mind control powers. It was cute at the beginning, but it's starting to slowly get like, dude, you're turning into a little tyrant, and you're kind of scaring me and everybody else. And she has the most powers out of everybody. This isn't true. People who read Maximum Ride are laughing hysterically at me. The next person who is my favorite next to Maximum Ride is Fang. I have never liked a character like Fang so quickly before, because the first description that you get of him is that he's really silent and that he sneaks up on Max, and she's like, why does he always have to do that? But I could just tell instantly, I'm like, we're gonna love this guy. He kind of does have that vibe of maybe like he would be the one to betray them and stuff, but I was like, no, you can tell he may not show his feelings too much, but that connection runs deep. And I want him and Max to be together. I was waiting this whole entire book for them to kiss, and Max kisses him really quickly, and it was super duper funny because there was no build up, and she was just so happy that he was alive that she was like, mwah! You need to fall in love because, oh my gosh, you two are perfect. They're gonna fall in love. I will make it happen. I will write my own book if I have to. Don't spoil it for me though, but I really want them to get together. And then Max herself was just a really awesome, strong character. Yes, she makes some bad mistakes in there, but overall, her mistakes even weren't horrible mistakes in a sense of like, I'm yelling at the book saying you're stupid. Her meeting Ella and her mom, doing that, I was happy she went down and saved her and didn't leave the bullies to beat up on her. And I'm hoping that those two actually come back. I feel like they're gonna be important. They're two regular people who know about her situation, and I just feel like they're gonna come way more into play. Her headaches, when she got those headaches, that scared me. I thought it was like a new power and that she could like see the future or something like that. I thought she was turning into Alice from Twilight a little bit, except Alice can't fly. That makes Max a little bit cooler. And I know she wasn't dying, but it was still like, are you okay? It did lead to a cute Fang moment because Fang was like holding her, and he loves you. He loves you. He loves you. He doesn't know it yet, but he loves you. So part of the writing style, one of the things that I really did like actually, you did have this moment where they're all separated. You're getting it from her perspective mainly. And so she's telling the story. And one thing that was like, whoa, but I kind of liked it was when it switched perspectives, but it went to third person. So Max always talked in like I, we, and then the others, it was like Iggy thought, blah, 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 blah. When it was nice to get the other characters' perspectives. Now, once they all met up, it only switched to Max and stayed on Max, which was fine, because sometimes having too many perspectives can be insanely confusing. I want to get into Iggy's thoughts more, and of course, I want to know Fang's thoughts, because they didn't go to Fang's perspective once throughout this entire book. And I was like, I want to know what Fang thinks of Max. What do you think's of the kiss? Because he just gave her a look, and I'm like, you enjoyed the kiss. Let's not lie here. I hope it stays like that, because I think that's a good formula, where you have Max, your main character, staying in first person, and then the others, if you switch to them, are going to be in third person. And I feel like they're going to get split up again, eventually, probably. And I did like, though, that though they were separated, they didn't stay separated throughout the entire book, and they actually got back together pretty quickly. Sometimes that can be annoying, because you're like, oh my gosh, just meet up with this person already. Like, you're sick of them being apart, and them trying to get to each other, and then they're not getting to each other. And like Nudge wanted to go find Max, and I'm like, no, stay in your place. Max is coming, she is healing, just stay there so that she can fly to you and you can meet up. Because I was gonna be pissed if they flew away and then Max comes and they weren't there. I was gonna be like, you've got to be kidding me. So then one of the big twists comes in the book. There's a couple of big twists. So the first one was with Jeb, which for some reason I did not see coming. When Angel looked up and saw Jeb, I was like, oh no. I thought he was still alive and maybe he was captured or something, but I didn't think he was one of those scientists again. And I was just like, oh, Jeb, How could you? It gave me flashbacks to other books of characters that I love and betrayed. And I'm like, who else is gonna betray? Because I didn't know Jed that well and I'm already pissed at him. But then he throws in another loop when they save Angel that has me paranoid throughout this entire book. He says that everything is a game. And that's all, really. You don't get an explanation. And his son Ari said earlier, we're not the bad guys here. But you don't get an explanation. You just get everything is a game. You're safe at the school. And well, they're not safe because you're torturing them. So no matter what, they're not safe. But now I'm like, what do you mean everything is a game? Is everybody just a pawn? Are all of these real people in New York? Or is it all a setup? And everybody that you meet is part of the game. And like Max is in the game and then all the others, are they just all gonna turn on her? I was so confused and I was like, you're having me paranoid about every little thing. Is it part of the game, or is it not part of the game? Is Angel part of the game? Is Fang part of the game? If he is, I'm gonna be mad. And then you have the whole thing about Max is set to save the world, which was really the only little cheesy part, because I was like, oh no, we have the prophesied one again. But other than that, I was like, what do you mean Max is meant to save the world? She was built for that, you're saying, and now she's meant to save the world. You're not giving me any explanations whatsoever. So I'm hopelessly lost and just paranoid throughout this entire book, wondering what in the world is going on, because I can't figure it out. And I'm just like, what is the game? And that's why I need to read the rest of these books too, because I'm like, I can't stop here and be just wondering what the heck the game is the whole entire time, because that's gonna drive me insane. Like, it'll be years later and I'll be like, what's the game? The final big twist near the end of the book, which is what happens with Ari. Now, I was really sad actually that Ari died, because I know he was a jerk and he was annoying and he beat up Fang, which was a no-no. But Ari was an interesting character, and I thought he was going to be a main villain throughout this entire story. So I was really surprised that he died in the first book. I thought he was going to be more prominent. And Max kills him, and I was like, oh, Max, okay, calm yourself down just a little tiny bit. I could have seen him being one of those characters that maybe is like, he's on the wrong side. Maybe he's not with the whole game thing, I don't know. But then he turns good and helps them. They talked about him following Max around, and Max ignored him, and he was mad about that. But it did seem like he did want Max to like him. I was thinking he was going to be part of a weird love triangle or something. I don't know. My brain thinks way ahead sometimes with plots that will never happen. And then to throw it on top of it, Jeb's the twist thrower, isn't he? He's just going to keep spinning out twists. Like, if Jed throws out another twist, I'm going to be a little irritated and just expect a twist every single time Jed comes. Because what does Jed yell out at the end? He was your brother. And I was like, hold the phone. Time out. Time out. I like walked away for a minute. I was like, what do you mean Ari was her brother? You mentally insane? I was like, what? I was a little irritated at the end because like she's still trying to find papers on her parents, and I'm like, dude, your dad is Jeb. That's why I wanted Ari to be in it more though. Like, wouldn't it have been better if like you find that out and then Ari's still alive and she has to deal with this complex? Though she does have to deal with the complex of killing her brother. So that is a pretty tough complex. But that makes everything complicated. Everything. Like, for no apparent reason. You throw in the brother thing, you show up and show that you betrayed them, and then you're telling her that everything is a game. So she doesn't trust anything anymore. Jeb was annoying. I will never forgive him. I'm sorry. He's just going to be a character I'm going to be annoyed at. I can tell. Like, even later, if he turns good for some reason in the books, I'm going to be annoyed. Because I'm going to be like, you were annoying in that first book and just kept me confused throughout the entire thing. So, you suck. I'm just wondering how many people are laughing that have read this book right now and are watching this and are just laughing because they know everything that happens and I don't, and I'm frustrated. Don't spoil it for me, but you know, you can say you're laughing right now if you do know what happens. Overall though, as much as I'm complaining that I was paranoid throughout it all, I really liked that because I like books like that where you're just not sure of everything and it's just like you're trying to figure it all out and you're just kind of with the other characters and you're like, I'm hopelessly as lost as you are. I'm really really curious to see what happens next. I'm super duper excited. That's really all I have to say about this. If I missed anything important that you wanted me to talk about, I'm sorry. You can let me know if you want. But this was super duper good. And I'm definitely gonna finish this series. I promise, because this was so good. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other book or movie recommendations, please leave them in the comments below. And if there's any other type of video that you'd like to see, let me know as well, and I'll definitely do them for you, like a book tag, Q&A, movie tag, whatever. Just let me know, because I love hearing from you guys, and I love doing these for you. So thank you for watching this. Have an awesome day, evening, afternoon, whatever time of the day you're watching this. And don't forget to be awesome, and contact me if you know a way to get wings that's not as bad as this and here. Like, let's not get experimented on. But if you find a way to get wings, let me know. Thanks so much, and don't forget to be awesome. All right, goodbye.